So these are my 2025 Side World Darts Championship Tournament predictions for the WDF World Darts Championship. I thought I would do it. I may as well do it because it's where darts started, wasn't it? Which was the Side. Obviously, it's not the PDC, and obviously there is a drop in quality in terms of the Side and the PDC. So let's get straight into it. The 2025 WDF World Darts Championship is an upcoming darts tournament that will be held from the 28th of November, which is this Friday, to the 7th of December 2025, which is next Sunday, at the Airside Country Club in Fairy Queen, Surrey, England. We all love the Airside, don't we? Nostalgia. It is the fourth World Darts Championship to be organised by the WDF since it succeeded the now defunct of the BDO, the British Darts Organisation. The tournament will be broadcast on television by Welsh channel S4C, as well as on YouTube by the WDF and the S4C. The Open Tournament, when I said Open Tournament, that's the men's tournament, women's tournament, youth tournament, and the girls tournament will share a total prize fund of £221,000, with the men's champion receiving the British winners' prize of £50,000. So yeah, it's not quite the PDC, is it? When the PDC, the winner of the PDC World Darts Championship is going to be getting £1 million, I think. I'm pretty sure, because they've expanded it. Shane Madur is the defending champion. He is in this as well, having defeated Paulie in 6-3 in the 2024 final to win his first Side world title. Reigning women's champion Bo Reeves, who won her third women's world title in 2024, will be unable to defend the title after she's decided to participate in the 2026 PDC World Darts Championship, which is coming up in 2 weeks' time. The prize money for the winner for the men's 50k, for the women's winner 25k, for the youth winner 3k, for the girls winner 1.5k, runner-up for the men's 16k, runner-up for the women's 8k, 1.5k for the youth, 1k for the girls. The semi-finalists for the men is 8k, for the women's 4k, for the youth is £1,000, and for the girls is £500. Quarter-finalists for the men is 4k, for the women is 2k, and for the youth is £500. For the last 16, 2k for the men and 1k for the women. For the last 24, which is the first round in the women's, £750, and the first round, which is last 32 for the men's, 1.250k, and last 48 for the first round for the men's is £750k. £750. Format and qualifiers. The men's event will consist of 48 players. Qualification for the event follow these criteria: top 16 the WDF World Rankings, seeded in the second round. Winners of the Platinum Gold tournaments. First and second round players from each of the 7 regional tables, and next highest ranked players in the WDF World Rankings to bring the total entry list to 44, and 4 qualifiers from the final qualification tournament. Yenna Dates, Ice Spellman, David Cameron, Johnny Tata, and Johnson Island originally qualified for this tournament, but they decided to take part in the 2026 PDC World Darts Championship instead, and were replaced by Jeff Smith. But Jeff Smith originally qualified for the tournament, but withdrew due to the Stedman conflict and was also replaced. The women's event will consist of 25 players. Qualification for the event followed the same criteria as the men's tournament, with the top 8 players in the WDF World the top 8 players in WDF women's rankings being seeded in the second round. And also, like I said, with women's champion both Queens will not defend the title. So they will have a new champion. They'll be all happy that both Queens won't be competing. Having decided to take part in the 2026 PDC World Dart Championship, which is fair enough for her now. She doesn't need to compete in this anymore. Let's be real. The youth event will consist of 8 players, and the top 4 players in WDF youth rankings were seeded and were matched up against 4 qualifiers in the quarterfinals. The girls event will consist of 4 players. The top 2 players in WDF girls rankings were seeded and were matched up against 2 qualifiers in the semi-finals. So let's get into the predictions then. We'll start off with the big one then, the men's predictions, then we'll work our way down. Obviously, the format is set here. It's first to 6 in the final, first to 2 in the first round. So you day it as it does it on. When the rounds go on for the men's, it's like 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's get straight into it. So my men's first round predictions: top section, Ice Williams versus Warren Krovenbach. We all know him from the PT World Championship in previous years. I think Warren Krovenbach will win that one. I think Michael Cantey will go through in his game. I think Ryan Hordaff will go through in his game. Shane McDermott, the defending champion, will start off in the first round. I think he picks up an easy win in that one. Dennis Nielsen to go through in his tie. Taylor Hope, Dan Johnson, that'll be a close game, that one, but I'm going to go for Dan Johnson to win that one. This will be another close game. Carl Scherfer versus Daniel Boledick. I've done for Daniel Boledick to win in that one. That'll be a close game. Kevin Duke versus Chip Ells, that'll be close as well. Done for Chip Ells to edge that one. Mitchell Dory, who we will see in the boys tournament, having he'll go through. Then Moyama. Prati Kerr versus Jeff Sprinter, that'll be close game. But I'm for Prati Kerr to win in that one. Vince Tibble versus Hiroki Muramatsu. Who remembers him, people? Piasm the pass in the PDC. Done for Muramatsu to win in that one. Brian Roman with a tough first round game, but I think Roman will just edge that one. Ben Wobb with a tough first round game as well, and under for Ben Wobb to win. Chimmerdowen and under for Chimmerdowen to win in his tie, and Jason Walker, who appeared in the boys last year, I think he'll win his tie. And Kip Pryor, I think he'll win his tie against Kent Carson. Men's second round predictions: Jimmy Van Schiff versus Warren Krovenbach. What tie that is? The answer is early tie for Jimmy Van Schiff, but I think Jimmy Van Schiff will win that one. Paul Corney versus Michael Cantey. I think Paul Corney will win the 16th seed. Corney Cornfield versus Ryan Hordaff. That'll be a tough game for Cornfield, but I think Cornfield will win that one. I've done for the number 9 seeds that knocked out by the defending champion Shane McDermott. James Beaton versus Dennis Nielsen. Not a bad tie on paper, but I think James Beaton will win in that one. Young Mandy Gomes, who we've seen Pierre Bonqueed of course in the youths World PT World Youth Championship. I think he beats Dan Johnson. Benson Pratnima, I think he wins his tie against Daniel Boledick. David Parrott, another piece from the past in the PDC. Who remembers him? I think he will win against Jay Bells. And Jason Brandon, former semi-finalist last year, quarter-finalists, I think he'll beat Mitchell Laurie. Andy Davidson, I think he gets knocked out by Bradley Kirk, the number 15 seed. And I think Matt Yark will get past Hiroki Muramatsu. And a repeat of the quarter-final between Francis Ryan and Brian Roman. I think Francis Ryan will win in that one. Neil Duff versus Ben Wobb. What a tie that will be. I think Neil Duff will win though. And Thomas Johnson versus Jim Torrin. I think Thomas Johnson will win in that one. Number 6 seed David Fatton versus Jason Walker. I think the number 6 seed will win in that one. And Raymond Smith, who remembers him, that former last team. Obviously, this last team, the PT World Championship. I think he'll defeat Kip Pryor, in my opinion. Men's last team distance: Jimmy Van Schiff to get past Paul Corney. Cornfield to defeat the defending champion Shane McDermott. James Beaton versus Yimand and Lawrence. Done for James Beaton to win in that one. Benjamin Pratnima versus David Pyatt. I think Benjamin Pratnima will win that tie. Jason Brandon versus Bradley Kirk. I think Jason Brandon will win that one. Matt Clark versus Francis Swayan. I done for Francis Swayan, number 10 seed, to go through in that one. I done for Neil Duff, 2-deck pass, John Huns. And David Fatten versus William Smith. I done for David Fatten to win in that one and reach the quarterfinals. My quarterfinal predictions: Jimmy Van Schiff versus Cronenfeld. What a tie that's going to be. I done for Jimmy Van Schiff to win in that one. James Beaton versus Benjamin Pratnima, another close tie, but I done for Pratnima to win that one. Jason Brandon versus Francis Swayan, again, be another close tie, but I done for Jason Brandon to finally reach the semi-final, do one better than last year. And I done for Neil Duff, a former champion at the side, to defeat David Fatten. My semi-final predictions: Jimmy Van Schiff versus Benjamin Pratnima. I just think Jimmy Van Schiff, I do think Jimmy Van Schiff is just levels above mostly everyone. I think he's levels above everyone in this tournament. With the darts he plays, I think Jimmy Van Schiff should be the favourite to win this tournament. I think he gets to the final. And I think he'll play Neil Duff. I think Neil Duff, who beat Jason Brandon in the quarterfinals last year, I think he'll beat him again this time in the semi-finals. Which means my final prediction will be Jimmy Van Schiff versus Neil Duff. And I will give my tournament predictions at the end. So on to the women's first round predictions. Yes, Fire versus Chelber. I think Fire will win that one. Joan Hadley versus Eve Watson. I've done for Eve Watson to win that one. Arena Armstrong's a non-seed. That's a dangerous non-seed. I've done for her to win. Another dangerous non-seed is Chester Sisarova. Another dangerous non-seed player. I think she will go through. Paula Murphy to go through in her day. Stuart Burden, another dangerous non-seed. She's got a tough first round in as a lead seed, but I think she will win that. Suzuki, again, another dangerous non-seed, a former ESI champion. And Piers Paulin against Lisa Soreva. I think Piers Paulin will win that one. My women's assets team predictions: number 1 seed, Irina Burden. I think she wins her tie against Fire. Ian DeCraft to defeat Eve Watson. Nicole, I don't for the number 4 seed, Nicole Fenor to get knocked out by Irina Armstrong. I just think it's a dangerous non-seed to play, in my opinion. I don't for Reno Sullivan to get knocked out as well. I just think Sisarova, she's a really dangerous player, very good player. She reached quarterfinals last year as well. Paula Murphy to get knocked out by Lorraine Hyde. I don't for Stuart Burden to knock out the number 7 seed, Tracy Ferritard. I don't for the number 3 seed, Hedman to get knocked out as well by Return Suzuki. But I look at that for Sophie McKinney versus Piers Paul in the repeat of the last year's girls final. What a dangerous tie for Sophie, the former runner-up last year of the Women's World Championship, to get a former enemy, Piers Paulin, in that last 16. But I think Sophie will win. We'll just edge that one out. My quarterfinal predictions: Third Burden to defeat Ian DeCraft. Arena Armstrong versus Sisarova. What a game that will be. I don't for Sisarova to do one better than last year and reach the semi-finals. She lost to both Reeds last year in quarterfinals. Lorraine Hyde versus Stuart Burden. Steve Burden. I think Steve Burden beats number 2 seed. And Return Suzuki versus Sophie McKinney. I don't for Sophie McKinney to win that one than Suzuki. She's got more experience now, Sophie McKinney, hasn't she? She's got more experience and she's getting better and better as well. I think she just goes through the experience Suzuki in that one. But there's so many dangerous non-seed players in this women's tour. If anything, you can argue the non-seed players are actually better than the seeded players, to be honest with you. That's what I feel, anyways. Women's semi-final predictions: Burden versus Setarova, and Steam Burden versus Sophie McKenzie. For me, in that one, I think my final prediction I have done for the two seeded players to go through. Done for Burden to reach the final and Sophie McKenzie. So this is the repeat. This is actually a repeat of last year's same final, and I think they will meet each other in the final. Ray Burden, Sophie McKenzie. But then, like I said, at the end of this video, I will give my tournament predictions. The boys' quarterfinal predictions: Mitchell Norrie, I think he did desperately easy. Same with Taylor. I think Taylor Barso will have a more tougher game, but I think he does through as well. Look at that for the first round game. Throwing praise versus RC7 last year's champion. I think RC7 will go through. What an awful tour to have if you're the seeded player. And I think Mason Tees will go through in his game. My semi-final predictions: Mitchell Norrie versus Taylor Bessel, and RC7 versus Mason Tees. That is unbelievable, people, isn't it? RC7 to play the times they're throwing praise and put in the first game. Throwing praise must be thinking, oh, thanks for that. You just gave me the purely defending champion. But hey, he's the man to beat, isn't he? He's the man to beat. And then if Throwing Praise does go through, then he's going to have Mason Tees in semi-finals. So, and my final prediction is Mitchell Norrie versus the defending champion, RC7. That'll be a great final. The number one seed against the defending champion as well. And by the way, the defending champion last year won as a qualifier as well. So you do need some look out for that. Onto the girls' semi-final predictions: Paige Poland versus Sarah Jamie, and the number 2 seed Ruby Gray versus Rebecca Allen. My final prediction is Paige Poland versus Ruby Gray, which means now onto my tournament predictions for all four. I've done for Jamie Fanshawe, the number 1 seed, to win the men's and win the Yearside World title. I've done for Sophie McKenzie's, do one better than last year and get across the line this time and win the women's Yearside World Championship. I've done for RC7 once again to go through the qualifier route and retain his boys' title. And I've done for Paige Poland to win the girls' title as well. So they're my 2025 Yearside World Dance Championship tournament predictions. Feel free to leave your tournament predictions down below in the comments. And I will try and do predictions for day 1, day 2, etc. Obviously, it'll be difficult with the schedule I've got, but I will try. If not, I will just post it on my community in terms of predictions. So, feel free to leave your predictions down below in the comments. And I thought I would do it because it's where Darth started, wasn't it, in the side. And I do know the WDF players as well. Obviously, I do watch the PTC a lot more than WDF, but I always keep updated with the WDF results over the year. So feel free to leave your predictions down below in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.